The big story that we are tracking today on India Global. Well, the spotlight is once again on Bangladesh. It needs to now repair its economy. It needs to fix its country and needs to get its finances in order. How does it go about doing it? It needs at least $8 billion. Already about 2 months back, before the entire upheaval shook Bangladesh, it needed $5 billion. It wanted that money from several aid and donor organizations like IMF and others. And now that check is only likely to grow simply because the country is facing upheaval. Inflation is at a sky high. There is scarcity. And add to it, already the economic fundamentals of the country are under immediate and they need to be rescued. In fact, monetary aid it needs from global partners, it's upwards of $8 billion. Who will fund this and how will Bangladesh start its road to recovery? Will it be India? Will it be China? And will it be once again a power play between New Delhi and Beijing? That's our big focus on India Global today. How and who will ensure that Bangladesh starts its road to recovery? This will have ramifications for Bangladesh, it will have ramifications for the entire region, and of course also for the entire Indo-Pacific, how it plays out. Bangladesh also urges global banks for flood aid, and that has been sent by Turkey. But the larger issue about its struggling economy, how does it get its finances in order, is the larger question that we are discussing today. Joining me on the broadcast are Soumya Bhowmick and Ashikur Rahman. Soumya Bhowmick is at the ORF, tracks Bangladesh closely, and Ashikur Rahman is in Bangladesh joining us, Policy Research Institute of Bangladesh. He's a senior economist there. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out the time and joining me on India Global. Let me start with you, Ashikur Rahman. The fact is that $8 billion is probably a very conservative estimate given just how much of reparation needs to be done of the Bangladeshi economy. The question is, desperate times call for desperate measures. Will it take up whatever China offers, or do you think this is a time where Yunus's government will be tested, his leadership will be tested, and how it goes about repairing the Bangladesh economy will have implications over the larger India-Bangladesh relationship and ties?
Thank you, Gaurie. I think just for your listeners, Bangladesh economy has faced three challenges over the last 2 years. We lost $24 billion in foreign reserves over the last 24 months. We faced high depreciation, 35%, and which caused a very high inflationary environment over the last 2 years. And adding to that problem, we had serious governance challenges in the banking sector. Now, Bangladesh has been seeking help from IMF, and we got a $4.5 billion deal, but there is now a need to increase that further, and an additional $8 billion will stabilize Bangladesh economy. Because what we need is to stop the depreciation of taka against dollar, we need to stabilize the foreign reserves. And if we can stabilize the foreign reserves and halt the depreciation of taka, that will also tame the inflationary pressure that Bangladesh
Absolutely.
is
I'm going to simplify this for our viewers. I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to put it very simply for our viewers. The fact is, right now, there's been a lot of US dollars exiting Bangladesh, and that has put a lot of pressure on the Bangladeshi currency, which means that whatever is going to import will become that much costlier, and that has
Absolutely.
downward stream implications for the entire economy. But the fundamental question, and this is what I asked Soumya Bhowmick, is that this is a time when Bangladesh needs assistance, aid, grants, but what China offers is loans. And do you think this is a time when the India-Bangladesh relationship could be repaired and could obviously, in fact, turn the chapter for a better relationship looking up from here on?
Thanks, Gaurie, for having me on the show. But before I get into the Chinese loan, let me just clarify what a loan is and a precautionary loan is and a bailout is. So, for example, when Bangladesh went to IMF last year for a precautionary loan of $4.5 million, it was significantly different from a bailout package that Sri Lanka had asked for. So that was a bailout package. This was a precautionary loan. And even if you go to multilateral organizations like the IMF or the World Bank, there is a list of conditions that you need to meet for you to get those loans. So, for example, for Bangladesh, as we have seen in the last year, there has been a fuel price hike and
Yes.
successive fuel price hike 5 times, and those were more or less in adhering to increase the bargaining power that the Bangladeshi government has with these multilateral organizations. Now, whenever you're going to a bilateral lender, especially China in this case, and you see reports of a soft loan of 5 billion from China. Well, in bilateral loans, the conditions are not so not so
Soumya,
well laid out.
I understand what you are saying, and I get the nuances of how, as I said, there are all different financial assistance forms are not
Yeah.
the same. They're all different.
Yeah.
Loans
Yeah.
are different, bailouts are different,
Yeah.
rescue packages
Yeah.
are different, grants
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
different, line of credit is different. We can go on and
Yeah.
on. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The purpose of the
Right.
debate is not to discuss what are the forms of financial arrangements that Bangladesh
Yeah.
can enter into. The conversation is about, is this primed for India and Bangladesh to increase their cooperation, and can New Delhi help repair the Bangladeshi economy?
Yes. Why I went to precautionary loan and a loan from China is in the context is the repercussions these loans will have. Why New Delhi is coming into the picture only when, say, there is a deficit from Beijing. If Beijing is agreeing to give the loan, there is a lot of strategic interest that the country will have that we need to cater to. As far as India being able to repair the Bangladeshi economy, I don't think India can offer any bailout package or things, or say lines of credit like they did for Sri Lanka, unless there is a clear ask for it. Say, for example, as an Indian economy and Bangladesh having these macroeconomic
Okay.
issues for the last 3 years, India could only move in this direction if there is a specific clearance or a ask on that.
Okay.
And as far as the China matter is concerned, I think that needs broader discussion in the context of the regional the entire regional development.
Okay. So none of this, as I said, is about the kind of financial instruments that can be used. This is about which of the two partners. You can see those are numbers on your screens, how India and China both engage with Bangladesh and the economic relationship that each have with Bangladesh. The question, Ashikur Rahman, is it a time when Bangladesh would like to step back and not go ahead and take more Chinese loans, take lessons from some of the other economies in the neighborhood? Or do you think, as I go back to the earlier question, which is desperate times call for desperate measures, and you just cannot just distinguish between each of the financial instruments we are talking and go for what is available?
So let me clarify and underscore a point that Bhowmick was making, that Bangladesh is not in a desperate situation. Our foreign reserves cover 3 months of import. That's fantastic in terms of macroeconomic stability. What the loans were taken for were precautionary. And now the figures that you're showing, that we have a $8 billion line of credit with India, out of which we have used 2.1, and we have a $20 billion line of credit with China, out of which we have 3.1 we have used. So Bangladesh has been in no urgency to go to India or China to ask for political rescue. What we are seeking money from is IMF, World Bank, and ADB, and they will be enough to fund this support. And what Bangladesh has been doing very prudently in terms of macroeconomy, that we are only seeking loans at a concessional rate. We are not seeking loans at the market rate. So if I get loans for 1% that matches IMF...
that is how international trade always takes place. It is always about concessional rates. Loans are always about concessional rates. There is nothing called free lunches anywhere in any part of the world. So even the LC business is about concessional rates. It can come down to 1%. As I said, the debate is not about the financial instruments. Ashik, let me just quickly ask you this, Soumya, that what all are the avenues and opportunities that New Delhi has right now to engage with the Yunus government to build on and create and strengthen its bilateral relationship right now?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Soumya.
Okay.
So as far as the India's trade volume, bilateral trade volume with Bangladesh is concerned, if you take it as a proportion of India's total trade volume, it's not a significant percentage. But what New Delhi needs to focus on right now to mend its long-term ties with Bangladesh is a lot of capex and infrastructure investment in the border areas that will be impacted because of the unrest in Bangladesh. That is one area where India can move in to see that these investments and these projects are not halted. And just to add to the previous point, I'd say that Gaurie, it is very, at this stage when you're looking for a economic restructuring, it is very important of the choice of the financial instrument that you make right now, because that is what is going to decide the state of your economy in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's not something that I see that Bangladesh should take up any loan or any instrument that comes to it at this point in time, specifically because it's not a bailout package yet.
Okay, Ashikur Rahman, what would you want from the Indian economy in terms of help to strengthen the Bangladeshi economy? The Indian economy is bigger, robust, and in a position to help and guide. So what would you want from New Delhi in terms of an economic assistance?
Well, there have been a couple of issues that are pending for the longest term. These are market access issues related to expediting the money that is tied up in the line of credit. There has been, blame game on both sides about why this money was not better utilized. So I think these are the instruments where these are the two dimensions in terms of market access and the line of credit utilization are the pending issues that can be, issues that can be selected for in the short run. But in the longer term, Bangladesh remains a friend of India. There's no really reason to doubt that the partnership that Bangladesh and India has achieved over the last 5 decades are going to get any destabilized for any particular reason. I think I sense a lot of panic in Indian media, and I want to assure
there's no panic.
People.
No, there's no panic.
No,
there is no panic. I give you all time to respond, Ashikur Rahman, but I am not allowing you this platform to go about making sweeping statements. There's no panic.
Okay, fine.
I asked you a very simple question. As a bigger economy, India is in a position to assist. What assistance you want? You can't turn around and say that there's panic. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I can't allow you to. I can't allow you to go on that. As I said,
that's fine. We don't need.
As I said, a bigger economy is in a position to assist. You are saying release LC funds. That's a long thing that's been going on. Are you saying that is going to help and repair the Bangladeshi economy right now? I think we can revisit this debate again tomorrow or another day on India Global and come back with specifics. I still end what I started this discussion with. 8 billion is a conservative estimate. Bangladesh will need more than that.